Hello, lovely people. I'm Sinead, and welcome. This week, we're going to try and build a chair kit. I don't know if you recognize this chair right here. It is from the X-Acto Collector series, House of Miniatures. I still have the original instructions, and I have actually recovered this. It was originally blue. I recovered it in this. So, several years ago, I enlarged this pattern because the instructions are really awesome. They have the exact pattern within the instructions here so that you can repeat it. So if you run across one of these, and I know they're still out there, I know that you can still find them on the secondary market, know that they have the scale pieces of the patterns in there. Anyway, I took those and I enlarged them, and no, I cannot remember what scale I did that at, but it's probably in my computer someplace with where I stored the scans so that I can enlarge them. And I messed around with trying to figure that out. But in the process, I hit one of those walls where it wasn't working out the way that I thought it should. And I set it aside, and then I ran across a kit by Sandra Coe from Motor City Dolly that fulfilled the need that I had at that time. It's a what do you call it? The 6th scale, like Barbie and Blythe. But the one that I was working on was more like quarter scale, I think. Maybe 3rd scale, I'm not sure. It was bigger. So I still have those parts, and I will eventually return to that because I do want to finish the chair for my lower floor down here, which is what we're avoiding working on. It's not so much that I want to avoid it, but I really don't have any place to pull the stuff out from down there and not trip on it. It's already gotten a little too crazy in this room, and the shelves still haven't been built, and the idea has been floated once again, and requests are being made, but yeah, there's a lot on our plate over here. Mine, Arthur's, Joey's. Oh, Joey's plate is so full. So that we are not giving that priority. But it does mean that I'm going to have to find someplace else to stash the stuff that's been in here if I'm going to get down there and work, because it's getting to be a tripping hazard. I have a pile next to me and a pile right in front of me. I'm kind of sandwiched in here with the piles, and I would really like them to have some place to go before I pull any more stuff out from down below to work on that bottom floor. But I want the chair for that bottom floor for my porcelain Kessner. And what we're going to do now is turn around this camera and go over there and put together the kit I do have that's ready to go and talk more about it there. I wanted to give you an idea of the difference in the scales. So this is the 12th scale, one that I showed you before from the X-Acto kit. And this is Motor City Dolly's kit. I did finish it different. I'll show you a picture of how they designed their kit to be assembled. And this is the cardboard mock-up of the pieces, that would eventually be the bigger chair that I was trying to build. And I think one of the things that threw me off was the complicated bottom of the chair, and that I was trying to replicate that framework there, and I didn't have the proper pieces of basswood, and so I was gluing pieces together in order to try and come up with something that would match together, because they all have to be the right thickness in order for the complexity of this design to go together, because it's got notches in that interlock with each other on both these back legs and the front legs, and it was getting really complicated. And I think what I need to do is I need to take a page out of Motor City Dolly here and simplify it. I need to just make it a simple leg. Do something similar to this for this chair. It works just fine. There's absolutely no need to go and do the historical replication when you can adopt something from the 1970s, still historical, because this is more like the chairs that we would find in the 1970s, whereas this is much earlier. It was just a Chippendale from the mid 1700s to the late 1700s. So I don't need to go strict Chippendale. I can go and do something more like this, which might help me move forward on this cardboard version. Anyway, that'll be for another day when I have worked out the different pieces, because there's supposed to be another piece like this that is missing. And I need to figure out whether or not I want that piece going forward or whether I'm going to just let that go. But, okay, so I did the cover on this different. Let's see, do I have a picture here? Yeah. So I don't know if you can see through there. Let's pull this kit out. They have applied fabric over a piece of cardstock and then glued it on the outside of the wooden pieces. And this is a 6th scale upholstered chair kit. Their design. And I want to do the next one a little different than what I did here, because what I did was mimic what I'd done here. This too is not done the way that the instructions. I sewed all of these seams, and I wanted to do the same or similar on this. So we are sewn together in a lot of places here where it goes around, and some of it's just glued, but I wanted to give the impression of fully upholstered instead of the wood showing. And it's not that I have a problem with wood showing. That is another design, but for what I wanted to do, I wanted it covered. But I cushioned this bottom piece, and I think I want to pull this out and cover the piece of cardstock down here and put it back in, and then make a cushion to go in that's separate, more like this cushion. So I want to go back and change that here, and on the next one it will be more of a separate cushion down there. This is not separate, but that part works out okay. But I do want a separate cushion here, and I have not got any foam the right thickness, but I do have quite a bit of this flat, narrow stuff. So I think I'm going to stack it up to create the cushion I want to go here. And hopefully I have enough to make it look right. I don't know. Maybe only, let's see. Would it take just 2? Yeah, that would be perfect. So I only need 2 thicknesses the size of the seat. These are too narrow. But I do have the 2 bigger sheets here. So that means I've got plenty to do both chairs and get a cushion in here properly. So that's good news. Yes, I only just figured that out. I'm going to set this chair aside and this chair and get into our kit, which I haven't opened. I only just opened this kit today. And yes, I've had it sitting here. So I will say that every time I check back at their website for this kit, I am not seeing it there. That doesn't mean that she's not doing it or it's not available upon request. I actually don't know and haven't checked to find out. So if you know Sandra, maybe, and you want this kit, maybe she still has the files. Maybe she'd be willing to make you up a kit. You would have to have a conversation with her. So we have, these are all laser cut out, and these are the pieces of cardstock that you would cover in fabric and then glue on. So those are all still here. That's really cool. And this is the base, and you can see here this got little holes for the legs. The other legs are incorporated in. So the first thing we have to do is remove this protective layer of paper that is on, I believe this is MDF wood. Not my preference. I'd really like basswood better, but I understand choosing this because it is a much more economical material right now. I don't know if that'll always be the case, but the biggest thing for me is I have to watch out for formaldehyde in processed woods. And this one seems to be okay. I don't actually smell anything coming off of it at all, so that's cool. And I will shut off the camera and finish doing this off camera. So, okay, I've got all the pieces prepped, papers removed, and you can see here that it's really an easy piece to glue together. We only have the two front legs and this one little trim piece that go on here that are different. And this trim piece goes into a notch, so that's even, you know, in my way of thinking, that makes it even easier is to get it in place. So before I assembled this the last time, I traced out the back and I traced this, doing the full size of it for the purposes of creating patterns from the fabric. So I have to add like basically seam allowance, which is just the bit of the fabric that needs to fold in so that I can either glue it in place or stitch it. And I did a strip along the edges that was just a narrow strip of fabric. But you have to trace the wood if you want to do a fully covered piece. And in here in the templates for that, actually these aren't templates, they're so much as you cover these with fabric and then glue them on if you're doing the kit to the way that it was designed. So the template or piece, here I go again calling it a template, the piece that gets covered for the seat, this piece I traced it, but I use this, like this is going to be the piece that I cover in fabric and just set down in there, but I also need a version of it to cut out the foam and then cut out fabric to make the cushion. And I won't get to the fabric part of it today. We're only going to glue this up, but I just wanted to say that if you wanted to do a fully fabric covered piece, you do need to have tracings or use of the cardstock. These won't work for making a fully covered because they go within. So on the back here, this does not go all the way to the edges on the outside back, and it doesn't cover this cute little curve here, which you have to accommodate. And these pieces don't go all the way to the back edge. Then they don't even include this front little, they don't follow the same curves. That's what I'm trying to say. They don't follow the same curves, so they work great for what they're designed to do. They do exactly what they're supposed to do, but if you're wanting to alter it like I've done, you need to trace these pieces to make patterns from. Anyway, now that I've rambled on, and hopefully you could understand that if you wanted to, let's start putting this together. And I don't know if this is the best piece to attach first. That does go all the way to the edge. But that's where we're going to go. Oh, let's get the glue in there too. Should probably have had a paper towel available for the excess. Let's get our block in here. You know, I didn't, yeah, that is square. Okay, so the other chair being pulled off of a historical piece is not square. It has a slope so that it mimics the Chippendale, which apparently was trying to throw you on the floor. No, it's the seat is square to, or 90, I don't know, parallel to the floor. That's the words I'm looking for. Parallel to the floor, but the back leans back to make it a more comfortable chair. And this is just straight up. Your dolls don't, well, I guess leaning back is kind of cool, you know, with the soft-bodied doll, or even something with a heavy head could be the thing that you need or want. But this has worked out great for the dolls, as far as, you know, having it square has worked out just fine. So I don't think it's a problem. And I'm going to just put the glue on this piece instead of trying to get in there. Oh, and let's get lots of glue out here. We're a little messy today. Okay, a lot messy, but you luckily aren't seeing most of it. And I had thoughts of, I don't know, other chair stories, miniatures. The miniature kits are really responsible. Those X-Actos, those really began my fascination and my journey with making miniatures. They were, you know what? It was not supposed to be glue. I put it in the wrong place. Okay, you're seeing the messy. Okay, I put it down here on this bottom edge. That's not where it goes. This is why you dry fit, so that you get it in the right place. They started my journey on miniature making. They were responsible for fostering that absolute passion for making tiny things of all sorts. You had people that place. I loved the creatures that could be living there. A lot of times I made mice and squirrels because I loved the book called Miss Susie, about a squirrel living in a dollhouse. Well, temporarily quartered in a dollhouse, I guess. And I should check and see if that one is available for me to read out loud. It might be still in copyright, which is the only reason why I'm able to, I can read the AA Milne, but not the any Disney versions thereof. And I'm staying away from the most popular one just in case. While I love the stories, it's just, I'm not into being approached by a lawyer for copyright infringement. Had that happen. It was a lawyer just looking to get, I don't know, generate some animosity to create a case. Okay, now we've got both the arms on, and time to put the legs. Let's see, no glue there. Glue on the sides. But just in case somebody, you know, has a real beef with what it is I'm reading, I'd like it to be in the public domain. Okay, this needs some kind of clamp. And it might be enough to just set it up right. So I'm gonna hold it for a second. Oh, good. And then I'll just set it up and put weight on it. That looks like a dog hair. Well, welcome to spring. It's loose in the hole, like it's not a tight, snug fit. I want to get the front piece on as well. I don't know if that one's going to hold as well. Let's see if I press it up against one side. Nope, doesn't seem to be. Okay. Then we'll get this one on and then we'll set it up. So you can see this is a pretty fast build. And that leg just came loose. Okay. That should help keep everybody in place. Making sure this edge is even. So the only part of the way in which they intended you to upholster this, the only piece that I'll be doing in that way will be the seat. Everything back here looks pretty good. Oh, that didn't look good. See, I said making messes, pushing where I shouldn't. Stop while you are ahead. I think last time I slid a piece of cardstock in there to help with this wobble, because it's just about, is it cardstock thickness? No, it's, I'll be right back. Okay, it's your cracker box thickness about, and I went and cut a tiny little piece, which hopefully is the right length. No, it's a little long. That'll help with some of the stability there. If it's still not right, like if it's still a little loose, then maybe a piece of cardstock, because it doesn't, I can't see a gap anymore, but I feel like it's got just a tiny amount of wobble. We're gonna see if this will fit in there. And these all need to be like saturated in glue for this to work. Which I will add. It looks like it's going in and then it's not. So anyway, this is where we're at. I can't get that in there, so I guess it doesn't need it. And putting this weight like right there on top of that, which holds it, this wants to pop up there, so the weight kind of keeps that from popping up, so that we stay attached in the front, because that's the other thing, is that if the back of this pops up, then the front of the leg is not making contact like it needs to. So I am using the weights to not only help the downward pressure so that it glues securely. The legs being the weakest part of the whole structure, always. If you got little legs sticking out there, they're always the part that gets knocked off. So just trying to get a better stick, get it attached better, and the weights help keep everything stuck together. So I hope you enjoyed this crazy little ride through putting together this basic kit, and I hope you have a delightful day and a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.